for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance. Yeah, love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's the love boat.
Well, it's incredible that you were the first one in today. And John, hello, how you doing?
I'm not so bad, thank you.
John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Peter.
Oh,
It's perfect, yeah.
oh, okay, right.
It's going to be a funny day because Dave, our anchorman, is unavailable for some reason,
Right.
and it could be a slow day, but who knows? But this is wonderful having you in, Mr. Pratt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been out in Spain and all sorts of things.
No,
and,
we told you from day one that there's never any reason for any apologies. If you come in once a year, then it's special. Oh, here comes our anchorman.
oh, right. Okay.
And that's not Dave. It's Zachary.
Yeah. Right. Hi, Ray.
Hello, Ray. Come on.
Hello.
Hello,
How are you?
Ray.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Ray. How you doing?
You won't believe
Good.
it. We haven't seen Praddy for months, and he was the first one in.
Oh,
Isn't that great?
yeah, that's great. How are you doing, Peter?
Yeah, I'm good, except for my eyesight.
Oh,
Got glaucoma and cataracts and you name it.
oh,
You know.
shit.
So everything's a bit blurred for me at the moment. I'm on
And I feel
14,
bad. Just
14 eye drops a day at the moment.
oh my
Are
goodness.
you going to have cataract surgery, Peter?
I've had cataract surgery on my left eye, and
Yeah.
it's left me with very blurred vision.
Oh, that's a shame because it was an absolute game changer for me. Because my vision was terrible. I could hardly keep my license to drive a bus.
Yeah.
And once they fixed it, I don't need these except to
Right.
type and read. So
Well, that's what I thought. So I was very
Yeah.
disappointed when
well,
post surgery I was very blurred. But I've been taking these eye drops and that sort of thing, and I've got to go back on Tuesday. So we'll
How
see.
long ago was it when you had the operation, Peter, or had your eyes done?
Sorry.
How long ago was it when you had your eyes done?
Must be about 8 weeks now. I only had the left one done. I haven't had the right one done yet.
I had both of mine done about 6 years ago. I had the second one done 3 weeks after the first.
Really?
Never had any problem at all, yeah.
A lot of people said that, but then other people who said to me, "Oh, we had problems, and I had to have eye drops for months." So it's
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
2
friend
months
of
now
mine
I've been
here.
on these eye drops. But
Yeah. Friend of mine here had his eyes done, and he's having problems with one of his eyes.
Yeah.
I think he had his about 3 years ago, but
Right.
he's having a problem with one of them. Yeah.
yeah, I'll see what they say on Tuesday.
good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
My biggest dread is them taking away my driving license.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. So we're waiting to see.
Hello, Scotty.
John,
Evening,
is
Colonel. Evening, everyone.
there any news on Gopi?
Yeah, he had an operation a few weeks ago. He's now out of hospital, but it's a recovery. I think it's going to be about possibly up to 2 months recovery. So
Really?
he can't work. But
Are you going to Goa this year or not?
Yes, I'm looking at the travelling arrangements, or the flights rather. And I'm at the moment looking at about the 30th of November.
All right. Okay.
Air India do a direct flight to Goa, but they only do two flights a week, which is a Wednesday and a Thursday, I think.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm looking at. It's eight hours 55 minutes go out, and 9 hours 10 minutes coming back, or 10 hours 10 minutes coming back, I think.
Right. Uh-huh.
Is that from Stansted, John?
Sorry?
Is that from Stansted?
No, from Heathrow.
Heathrow. I thought I saw a flight from Stansted to Goa
Well, they
once.
do them from Stansted. I came in at Stansted when I came back, 2.5 years ago now, I suppose, and came in at Stansted. Yeah, but these direct flights are from Heathrow.
Right.
Hello, Daisy.
Hello, Blackpool, Bob and Daisy.
How are we doing?
We're doing good, but we don't have our anchorman today. So Ray Zachary is supposed to be sitting in for him. So
Right,
Ray,
apology.
here's how
Miss
it works,
Inge?
Ray. Here's how it works. When someone comes in, if it's during someone else's conversation, that's okay. But after it's finished, you say hello to Blackpool Bob. So we're good, right?
Okay. Sorry. Hello, Blackpool Bob. I wasn't
Hello,
really paying
Mr.
much attention.
Secretary. How are you?
Actually, I better get into Dave mode. Here we go. Okay.
Oh, where's Mr. Inge this evening then?
It's very mysterious. He said politely that he won't come in because of social engagement, but that's all he told us.
Oh, right.
Doesn't involve rubber gloves, does it?
Yeah,
Not with him wearing them
He
anyway.
was on for it yesterday. He phoned me up when they
Yeah.
watching the football match yesterday, and he said, "I'll see you tomorrow." I said, "Yeah, right, okay."
Yeah.
So something's come up.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
got back yesterday from the Love Boat cruise.
Yeah.
Have you
What was that
just-
like?
Well, I think it's like you'd be horrified on one side.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'll tell you the full story, right? So we went because the fact it's the Love Boat cruise, and the Love Boat cast was there to celebrate Gavin McLeod's life. You know, the Captain Stubby.
Yeah.
So they're all on board, and the ship is full, 3,600 people, and so on at the sail away party, there's me and Cindy down there having a drink, and we see up there there's a bunch of guys dressed as officers, and but there was a bunch of people who got dressed up as fake officers on the ship. Can you imagine that in the old days?
Why didn't we think of that?
No, because it's not right. There was one guy who looked like Bernie Capel, who I met. He's 90 years old. He was a doctor, right? Wonderful man. There's a guy pretending to be him. He's got the uniform and the stripes. But so after I got over that shock, it was good. And my mission was to get an interview with Isaacs, right? Well, you know, it wasn't going good. And finally, I bumped into him on almost the last night, coming out of the theater. And yeah, people swamped him. They're like obviously movie stars, you know. But I did, and I showed him the picture of me and Cindy on the Sun Princess, and he gave me his time. So I started filming him. Then I handed the camera to his wife to continue, and she turned it off. So I got 16 seconds, which you might have seen, where, you know, but yeah. So besides that, it was great.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's changed in the intervening years? How much different was the overall package compared to the old days?
What do you mean, the cruise?
Yeah.
Well, we've been on many cruises, Ray. You know, I mean, yeah, there's many changes. You know, I mean, the fact is,
6,000 more passengers for a start.
and
Yeah.
there's I mean, there's so many nationalities on the ship that, but it was nice. We had a captain's cocktail party, and we got to shake his hands, and yeah. So
It's probably the same bloody drinks they're serving at the captain's club.
No. It was okay because they do it by invitation only, so they do only a few hundred at a time. So it was nice. Yeah.
Bloody Marys and screwdrivers.
Yeah, Manhattan.
Anything you want.
Don't forget the Manhattan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Manhattan and the Princess Punch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just watch the your intruder in the back garden there, Ray.
Oh
The
yeah.
black bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our garden is completely fenced, so I was kind of puzzled at how he even got in there. And I first spotted him through a basement window, and I said to my daughter, "Holy shit, there's a black bear in our yard." And by the time I came upstairs and grabbed my phone, he was trying to find his way out, and the gate was closed. And so I didn't have any shoes on, and so I went and opened the gate. But to get him to go out the gate, I had to encourage him to come towards me. And thankfully, he went up. Actually, that's the only way that he could really get out of the yard without damaging anything, is going up that tree. And he must have come in through there. So, I mean, I've been sitting out there not half an hour before, and he didn't make any noise going up the tree or getting. And he actually really carefully moved his bum over the fence. There was a fence there, and then went down the other side. So.
Get out. There's a black bear in our backyard. I've put the gate open, so I'm trying to encourage him to go out the gate.
Would you get inside, Dad?
Yeah, I'll get inside.
Oh my God.
Do you think he went up the tree? Oh, he did. He went up the tree and he came down the wrong side. That's what happened once before.
Dad, get the hell away from there. Imagine it's so hot in the backyard.
I know. There, he just went down the other side. Go on, get out of here.
Dad, close the gate. What do you think you are?
Well, we want him back in the woods. Go on.
Dad?
Psh. He must have gone up the tree and down the back.
Dad, can you
Yes,
come back?
I'm coming.
Dad,
Yes, I'm coming. I wonder if the...
Dad!
Yes, it's fine, T.
You must
Yeah,
you have to
usually they're
make sure
outside
he
the yard.
doesn't do that again. Will you?
I'll
Well,
put it on
Dad-
recording, Peter, so you'll be able to watch it when you watch the recording.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
We had an intruder at the at the apartments where I am. I only saw it yesterday. They caught it on camera, and it was teenagers in the front block climbing up a drain pipe to the first balcony to try and make a break in. And it's just above
Oh,
where
yeah. By the swimming pool.
yeah. And they built a wall. They built a higher wall on one side of the swimming pool to try and stop people getting over onto the roof. But these got on the garden and climbed up the drain pipe. Can you believe it? They was only young teenagers, but they caught them on camera.
Yeah.
But, it's it's incredible what some of these people try to do these days, and they're only, as I say, teenagers. But had they had got in, they could have got into the complex, because they've only got to open the front door and they're out into the complex, and they could have gone anywhere.
Well, I suppose we no longer have a police force in this country. So.
Well, we haven't got one in Broadstairs, that's for sure.
No,
They
we
closed
haven't got one
it.
here either.
It's a frock shop now.
Yeah.
You'll have to have a greasy pole
Yeah.
on the drain pipe.
One of my pals
Oh,
is
all right.
one of my pals is an invalid. He has an electric wheelchair that he gets around in. And yesterday, one of the wheels broke off, and he fell out of it on the pavement. As somebody came across to help, rang for the ambulance, and the ambulance service said, "We'll be at least 5 hours before we can get there."
Yeah.
Yeah, crap in it.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yes,
I eventually got back from the hospital the other night in London at gone 1 o'clock. And that was waiting for public, the patient transport. Had to wait about 4 or 5 hours for patient transport.
Yeah. Dreadful.
I missed the reason you were there, Scotty.
Oh, no, that was my brother-in-law. I took him up there because he had some checkups to go through. Yeah.
Okay. I got a question for Peter. Did you see the footage which Blackpool Bob did of his wonderful trip up the Thames on Graham Heath?
Yes, I did. It was absolutely great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I did. Very, very good.
Do you know Uncle Albert? Pete?
Sorry?
I said, do you know Uncle Albert?
No, I don't.
Graham Heap.
Oh, right.
Okay, I'd just like to welcome Gizzy Gisborne and Pete Stevens just joining us.
Oh, right.
I'm acting on behalf of Dave this week, trying to do a better job than what he does. The Colonel's given me some coaching tips.
Good boy.
Evening all.
Evening, Jimmy.
Gizzy.
James.
Evening, Mr. Pratt. How are you?
Yeah, very good, Gizzy. Thanks.
Long time no see. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
Scotty, Raymond, John.
Hello,
Hilda,
Gizzy.
you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Robert?
All right, mate?
Yes, thank you. Yourselves, Peter.
Yes. Top of the world, mate.
Oh, the
Excellent.
weather's nice where you are, Pete.
Can you hear us, Pete?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So the weather's nice behind
That the
you.
Humber Bridge, is
It
it?
is. It is. I was just going out for a dip, actually, Derek.
Just to walk across the bridge and back.
No, walk on the water and back. Gizzy.
Evening, Peter. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks, Pete.
I'm in mourning. What else? 4-1.
You and me both. I had two bits of good news thanks to Blackpool Bob
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was great, wasn't it?
and Charlie's mob. That keeps us off the bottom.
What about
Charlie and
Forest?
Bob are keeping us going.
What about Forest again, eh?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they kept us off the bottom. They're good lads, Forest. They're not too bad.
Yeah.
As we've got two Peters in, we'll refer to Peter Pratt as Pratty. That way we won't get mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're happy with that, Pratty.
Yeah, fine. No problem.
I got to tell you,
It's a bit late to say you're not now, Peter, after all these years.
I don't remember anybody ever getting us mixed up before, Peter.
One's got more hair.
That'll do. That'll do.
I got to tell you, it's bewildering watching the seagoing cat and all of the. I don't know that you guys do anything else except watch football games because I just can't keep track of it all. But a mystery was solved for me, I think, actually, this weekend, a few days ago. The Colonel had mentioned that he was at a hockey game with the Kraken, and I didn't know what the Kraken was. And but I just heard on the news that the Vancouver Canucks were going to play the Kraken. I don't know if that's already happened, but they had lost. The Vancouver Canucks had lost 7 games in a row, and they were actually booed at the most recent match. So I'm hoping that they'll do better against the Kraken.
Yeah.
Did they play that game yet?
I don't know. I'm not a hockey fan. So my friend, he's the timekeeper. It's a big deal for him. So
Right.
he got us the ticket. So we went. So yeah.
I had to ask my daughter's boyfriend, who is a hockey player, why they needed timekeepers, and when they've got clocks, and he says they're like adjudicators over the time. It seems like a lot of people to run a hockey game.
Yeah, I know.
I have to apologise for my non-appearance the last couple of weeks. I've had a few busy Sundays.
That's good, Gizzy. It's good. It's good that we're busy and out and about. So
yeah. I was Well, actually, I got back last week at about this time.
Yeah.
But we had to wait for a guy to pick up the guy I was with, so we went to the pub, just for one, of course. But by the time I got back, it was all done and dusted.
I wanted to tell Pete Stevens I was very happy to see that Russell Wilson made the game exciting for you.
Yeah, definitely. He had a couple of mishaps.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Apart from that, he was the driving force behind the entertainment. And he won them the game.
Yeah.
Great game. Oh, the last half hour was great.
Have you been to White Hart Lane today then, Pete?
Oh, to Wembley.
Oh, was it Wembley, was it? Right.
83,000, the biggest crowd ever for a American football match in this country.
Wow.
Yeah, they're taking over.
And a big welcome to Colin.
Hello, Ray. All right. Hello, peeps.
Hi.
How are you?
All right.
Hello,
Hi,
Colin.
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 Hello, Peter. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Good, good, good. Scotty, Peter,
Really?
Pete Stevens. Yes. Didn't do very well yesterday, Pete. What happened there, mate?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your picture,
See
Colin.
my little
your
note about
pic-
Alice?
Sorry, Pete. Say again.
No, don't worry. Go on.
All right. Okay.
I was saying your picture, Colin, reminds me that's the back pantry, the International Lounge on the Sun Princess.
It is
And
indeed.
Usually the purser, and Pratty, you'll remember this, used to meet there at noon and go in the back and have a few drinks before. I think the International Lounge opened for bingo in the morning, 10 till noon, and often you'd meet in the back there and have a few drinks.
Yeah.
Standing at that counter, and then it was shut down and reopened at 4:30. And one day when I was the bartender there, the surgeon, I don't remember the surgeon's name, the surgeon was there as well. I can see him right now. He had short blonde hair. And there were this big bunch of keys that we had, the International Lounge keys, and they used to sit on the end of the counter. And after you guys had a session, we noticed it wasn't until late in the afternoon we noticed that the keys were gone and we couldn't open the bar. We didn't have the keys, and bingo was about to start, and I somehow figured out that the surgeon had probably taken the keys because he was standing right where the keys were. And I went up to the doctor's office and I talked to the nurse, and he was having his afternoon siesta like everybody did. And I told her that he must have inadvertently taken the keys. And she's like, well, that's impossible. Why would he do that? We can't wake him up. And I said, look, we've got to get the bar open. Please, please, could you just wake him up or look in his pants pocket, right? And she went into his cabin, because in those days, nobody closed their doors. It was just had the pull across curtain, and hanging on the back of his door was his pants. And she felt in his pocket, and the keys were in there.
Yeah.
The keys to the International Lounge were in his pocket. And so we managed to get the bar open in time. But to this day, I have no idea how I figured out he had them, but he did. Yeah.
Was it Andrew Iddles, Ray?
And it was Andrew Iddles. That's
I'm
it.
just thinking of blonde hair guy, you know.
Yeah, Andrew Iddles. Yeah. He was a bit crazy.
Yeah, he was. I remember when he was on Uganda starting Wardroom American football in the Wardroom there, and this was trooping down the Falklands, and there was not one scrap of furniture left after the match. The whole lot had to be tipped over the side, you know.
He actually, now, because you mentioned him, and I had forgotten his name. He's the surgeon that took us up the mountain in Juneau, and then the fog came down, and he started suffering from hypothermia, and we almost got lost at the top. That was him. He was the one that took everybody up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I signed up.
Oh dear.
Hello, Foodie.
Oh yeah. All right.
Good evening, David.
Evening, Dave.
Good evening. Hello, guys.
Hello,
Hey,
David.
is that you in the middle, Fruity?
I hope so.
All right.
I actually feel like I might be the one on the left.
Too pretty, mate.
I've always been pretty gizzy.
I don't know if anybody saw or come across Facebook today. Anybody remember Tina Watkins? Tina's birthday today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
TW. Yeah. It's Angelo's as well, I see on Facebook.
That's right. Yes, yes, I saw that too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Another one of our cruisers.
As
Philip been in? Because he rang me today and said he was coming on tonight.
Not yet. No,
Not
as far as I know, is he?
Is he still working in the hotel? Does anybody know?
No, I don't think so, John.
No, last time I seen him, I think he'd packed it up. I think the last time I saw him.
That was in Maygears, wasn't it? At P&O reunion.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
No,
Because
he
it's,
phoned me this afternoon.
Philip is now 80.
That's right.
He's 80 years old, so I don't think he will be working anymore. It could be, I don't know. Doing a day
Well,
here, day there.
he was just doing relief at the start, but he phoned me this afternoon and said he wasn't going to go to his AA meeting, but he was going to come on the crew bar. So,
all right, okay.
He might still come in. Yeah, okay. In fact,
It's early, yeah.
should I send the link to his email, Foodie?
well, he knows it, but yeah, you could do, John. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes there's a glitch, you know what I mean. So we'll see. I'll do that.
with the reunion in Southampton. It's in May, isn't it? What
Yeah.
do you know? What nobody knows what date yet.
20th of May. 20th of May.
20th.
It is, Scotty, but have you emailed David Jukes to register your interest?
Yes.
Right.
But that was a while ago, so I could do it again.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit pedantic.
Right.
So
I'll do it
you
again.
just
A reminder.
Doesn't he usually email us, Dave?
he normally sends it out, but he probably won't send it out until someone in the new year. I wouldn't
I
think.
say it's a bit early yet, Dave.
But he replied to me immediately, and anyone who wants to stay in the hotel, they already have the information to get the discount. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but when Derek used to do it, when Derek Warmington did it, he used to send the thing out in October. But David Jukes doesn't do that. He sends it out in the new year somewhere.
Yeah.
With all the information. But as Steve Walker found out, you need to make sure that he knows who you are. Correct, Steve?
What was that?
David Jukes. You need to make sure he knows who you are.
Yeah. I don't know.
When I went in last year, when I went in this year, I sent him an email telling him what I did on the ships and when I joined, when I left, etc. And he was perfectly happy to accept what I'd said. So that was great.
Yeah. But yeah, don't get me wrong, Colin, he normally is. But if you just think you can send him a message and say, "Oh, I'm coming and here's the money."
No, I didn't do it that way. I sent him an email telling him what I'd done and when I joined, blah, 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 blah. And he came back. I gave him a 2-minute spiel, maybe. That was it. And he came back. Yeah, great. Lovely to hear from you. I'll send you the information through, etc. So it was good.
Yeah, it's going to be so nice for me because you all know what happened to me last time. Did you know what happened to me? I sat out in the courtyard
because he had COVID.
John, you and Cindy were holding court,
and it was terrible. It was terrible because I thought as this lady and gentleman came out, they got close. They didn't know him, so I told them I had it, and you'd figure out the fucking Black Plague. They go, oh, and they ran away. So yeah, it was stupid. Yeah.
Who was that who came out, John?
I have no idea. Well, you know,
you don't know? I see. Okay.
So many thousands of people. I've been polite because they wondered why I was sitting out there talking to people. So I said, "Well, where could have got COVID?" And you'd think
Stan came out and saw you. Stan came out and saw you.
Absolutely, yeah. That was special. That was special.
I don't wish to be picky, John. You did have the plague.
Yeah.
You did. You did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, only just though, because
I'll get a bit
I
behind
met you
you.
a couple of days before that.
Louise and,
Steve
Louise and I
Brendan.
had it. When did we have it?
I know.
July. Louise and I got it in July. Not very nice. Not very nice at all. Have you? Everybody had COVID? Everybody had COVID?
We've all had
Yeah.
it.
No.
Yeah, I've heard it.
No.
Yeah.
You've been lucky, Ray.
No,
Ray,
never.
you've
My
been lucky.
daughter,
My
my daughter
kid's
that lives,
frozen.
my daughter lives with us, and she's had it 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh my
And she's
God.
been,
Four
and she's fully
times?
vaccinated. Yeah, and she's fully vaccinated, and I've
Hello,
never got it.
Brendan.
Hi, Johnny.
By the
Brendan, what's
way,
going on in Dover today?
But
Any
by the
Brendan?
way, Ray Sackley is the anchorman tonight, but he's not doing a very good job. So I'll make you the anchorman instead.
No.
Actually, I couldn't get.
That's not
I
very
couldn't
nice.
get a word in
Ray's
edgeways.
Ray's doing
It's
very
okay,
well.
Graham.
I
I'm
tried
just
to.
joking.
Actually, Johnny, I think
Yeah.
it's about time you took over that responsibility.
No, it's funny. I've lost my thingy, Bob. That's why I delegate to people who can still do it. And Ray, we love you, Ray. I'm just joking.
I actually tried to welcome Steve and Brendan, but I can't get a word in edgeways.
I know.
I think Gizzy's frozen, John.
Gizzy.
No, he's not frozen. It's just
No, he's moving. He just moved his head.
moving.
I'm just listening.
Yeah,
There you go.
at least he's turned his telly down. That's a good thing.
I think what he was doing, he was trying to impersonate Ollie.
Yeah.
I got more hair than him.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. I've just made a mad dash back to be here.
Well done, Steve.
Well done, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
It's all right.
Have you not looked at your messages, Steve?
For some reason, Pete, I can't get a signal in the stadium.
Oh, right. Okay. When you get, well, you won't, when we finish.
Yeah. No, I don't know why I can't get a signal in the stadium. So anyway, a hard fought 3 points.
Yeah.
Who are you playing?
West Ham.
He knows who you were playing, Steve.
Like last week when I watched us play Chelsea.
Yeah.
But you weren't happy then, Peter, were you?
Nope, no, yesterday.
Last week when we got the draw off you.
No, you played very, very well, setting off.
Yeah.
Are you coming over for the pensioners pour out, Peter?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
When is it?
I
Pretty
don't even
May.
know when it is actually.
May?
Is it May?
May next year.
May
Yeah.
the 20th. I'm there. I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah.
May the 20th, I think. Yeah.
David Jukes keeps trying to get me to go every year, but I've never been to one. You know.
Yeah.
You
It's
should.
full of pensioners, Pete. You don't want to go.
Full of old men.
Everyone talks about it.
It's all full of piss heads.
Yeah, there's a few people I'm not too bothered about meeting again actually. Most of them captains, you know.
Anyone know where Taffy is?
He's
South of France, so that's what I heard.
He's down in Spain or something.
traversing the Pyrenees as we speak.
Yeah, he's going to the mountains.
Going through the mountains.
Is he going to say hi to you, Brendan, when he goes through Dover?
Well, Alan,
On his way back.
He's quite discreet, Alan. He does things his own way, you know, and all of a sudden he'll just call you up and say, I'm in town. But other times he might just pass through because he's tight for time or he's got things on, you know. And there are other things for him to do and see, you know. So, but I suspect when he on his way back, he might give us a shout.
Good.
Hopefully.
Charlie's just come into the house.
All about all his adventures.
Evening, all. You're in the house.
Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
How's everyone? We're very good.
Very good, thanks.
Not as warm as yesterday.
Welcome, Charles.
Thank you.
Another happy man.
Right. Yeah. Top of the pile at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know how long it'll last. Well, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah.
I bet most of you don't know this, but when I was a bellboy on the Sun Princess, I actually caught a stowaway. And Peter, I think you were the purser at the time and the accommodation officer. I can't remember his name, but you'd know him. You and he worked together a lot in the old days.
Alan Matches, Derek Hart.
John Probert.
I think his name was John.
John Probert.
John Probert.
Yeah. John Probert.
Oh yeah, John Probert.
We sailed from, I think it was Port-au-Prince or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And I was a bellboy, and I was walking from the A-deck master pantry forward through the foyer. And as I went through the foyer, I noticed this black guy sitting there. He was reasonably well dressed, and he was just sitting in the foyer. But when I passed him, he looked completely out of place. Not because of his color, he just looked uncomfortable and in the wrong place. And so I actually kind of just ignored him and walked past, stopped, turned around, waited a few seconds, and then walked past him again. And this time, just to check him out, and this time he had the courage to speak to me. And he said to me, "Could you tell me where I could buy a suit?" And I said, "A suit?" And I said, "Well, they don't really sell suits in the shop on the ship." But I said to him, "What cabin are you in?" And he gave me like a bogus cabin number. And I said to him, "You're not a passenger, are you?" And he said, "No." And I said, "You better come with me." And so then I walked down to the accommodation office, and I told him to wait outside, and he did. And then I knocked on the door, and John Probert was in there. And I said, I think I've just caught a stowaway. And he absolutely went up one side of me and down the other. He goes, "You've got to be fucking joking." He goes, "You're fucking kidding me." And I said, "No, he's here." And I guess it caused a big problem, which is why he was upset. Because once you've got a guy on board with no identification, you can't get rid of him until you go back to the same port. And because I was a bellboy, they actually chained him he had shackles on, and they chained him behind the bridge on the stairwell going down from the bridge. And I had to take him up meals every day on a tray.
Well, you were his
For a
mate.
week.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember?
I have to apologise
to
apologise to Gizzy. I muted you because I thought you were the background noise. I think it's Blackpool Bob's telly.
Oh, no, sorry. It's not
the TV on.
Okay, all right.
I haven't got anything on.
Okay. All good.
And to help save you money.
Who's got the telly on?
To any of the 600 local Euronic stores.
Well,
not me.
Someone's got a TV on.
Ain't me.
Not me.
No, mine's
No,
off.
not me.
Not me.
Oh, no, you haven't got yours on, have you?
no, promise you. Everybody's quiet down here. In fact, I will mute myself. So just.
It's not me. I tell it off.
Where's Colin? John?
Come on, somebody hold the hand up there.
Nothing. It's all off.
Somebody's lying.
Don't be shy.
Oh, it's gone.
That purifying clean feeling that
Oh,
you
it's
love.
still on.
No.
Now you can feel it at home with all
Someone's
of
got a radio in it. That's a radio.
all of these dentist-inspired round brush head and unique microvibrations. Eating these batteries.
I can't believe nobody's confessing.
No, mine's off. Absolutely.
Mine's off as well.
I haven't got anything off.
No.
No,
Closed.
We must have picked this scene
Oh,
up
well.
from somewhere else then.
let's carry on. Going back to Ray's story about stowaways.
Carry on about the
Of course,
story.
a lot of the guys used to pick up.
Before
guys-
you do that, guys, sorry, I've got to go. So I'll see you next week. Okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have too. I've got
Okay.
some visitors
Yes.
coming round,
Bye.
so I have to try and catch you next week.
Okay, Freddie.
Okay, good night,
guys.
Peter.
TV goes off.
Right,
you know,
Pete.
it's-
Good night.
Okay.
Nice to see you all again. Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah, see you, Fruity.
Peter.
See you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Then that's some weird
That is strange, isn't it?
The-
Do you remember-
It wasn't there
a lot of-
because you can still hear it.
This
I
narrows it
remember-
down.
Going back to Ray's story earlier, I remember a lot of the certain bar staff. I remember Aggie used to do on a regular basis was they would meet young men in where was it? I think it was Puerto Vallarta, and keep them on board overnight and get rid of them in Manzanillo the next morning.
Oh my God!
They used to give them their train fare home or whatever it was, and yeah. That went on quite a bit. I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but
no.
Only Aussie cruising. Fremantle to Sydney.
I've
Yeah.
been across to St Thomas to San Juan on the.
that was another one.
Conquest.
Yeah,
I've done that.
yeah.
I woke up in their crew bar and did sail.
Was that on the Island Princess, Steve?
No, the Cunard Countess.
Oh, right. I came back to St Thomas on the Island Princess one night, having had a piss up with Dave Hale.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that, Jim?
Music now.
I said I remember meeting up with the Island Princess in St Thomas one time, and we had an almighty shindig and went back to the Island Princess, and I ended up back in San Juan the following morning.
Yeah. Just down one gangway and up another.
That's right. I don't think I was on the Sun at the time.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
We lost Peter.
We and ITV Hub.
He left.
That's the first time Peter's been on for a long time, isn't it?
Well, it was
He
amazing.
hasn't
because-
been in Spain.
Yeah, he'd been in Spain. What was amazing was that I've been told that so many people weren't coming in, and he was the first one in today. So that was
good.
nice.
Probably why, John.
All right.
Every time I remember that every time we were in with another ship, the fleet, everybody would go over to the other ship and often get wasted and not have trouble getting back to the ship on time.
Yeah.
I don't think that sort of thing would happen today, would it?
No, not so. So
I went ashore in
The security now,
You won't get on.
security now is outrageous for crew and all that. I believe you have card identification that has to be run through a machine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And
That's
if
right,
you
yeah, you're scanned off and on now, aren't you?
scan
Yeah.
on and off the
Yeah.
ships.
You know who's there and who's not.
When we first
Yeah.
arrived in Sydney on the PP, they wouldn't allow the crew from the Oriana to come on board.
None at all.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't let anybody on board on the Pacific Princess.
on the in
What year
Martinique.
was that, Derek?
What was that, Jim? 76?
76, yeah, late 75, early 76.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we
been
got
on
back to the
Kansas.
States, it was the American Bicentennial, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So that would have been 76, yeah.
I remember being on gangway duty, and you'd be there with one of the deck, usually a quartermaster or someone from the bridge, and you never stopped anyone. I mean, everyone came on. Any pinball banjo player could walk up the gangway. You would never stop them.
No.
No.
You know, you wouldn't ask them or anything or challenge them. You'd help them on. So the security then was zero.
Yeah.
There wasn't any.
That's right.
I mean, in hindsight, it's amazing, and thank goodness that nothing terrible has happened, because you've got all those people on the ship. You're only going to get if you've got 10 guys come on with machine guns to kill everybody.
Well, it did happen, didn't it? That
No, they did. That's what they did. In
Angelina Laura.
Angelina Laura?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It was the other one, wasn't it, Steve? Not the Angelina, the other one.
The other one, yeah.
Yeah.
The Angelina Laura was the one that caught fire.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the one that caught fire.
They actually got a man called Klinghoffer who was in a wheelchair, and they killed him and threw him overboard.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, that was
Oh,
it
my
killing. That's
God.
right. Yeah.
You wonder why they would pick the guy on the wheelchair, wouldn't you? I mean, there's all those passengers who pick the poor old bugger in the wheelchair.
It's because he was Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God! Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was that something to do with Entebbe?
Well, if you remember what happened, the American special forces got involved, and after they got released and they were on a plane to someplace, they intercepted the plane and they arrested all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like a stark example of the difference between me and somebody else my age. We were on the Sun Princess. We were anchored out in Palm Island. And that's when the invasion of the Grenadines was going on, and we've been calling there before that, and some buses have been stopped at gunpoint and things like this. And then the U.S. Army invaded the Grenadines, but 1 week we were anchored out at Palm Island, and they had invited the top brass of the U.S. Special Forces on the ship for lunch or something. And I was on gangway duty that day, and there was a young guy, the same age as me, posted. He was like a guard for the Special Forces, top brass. So we were both on gangway duty, and I was chatting with him, and I was like 19 years old, working in the bars, serving drinks, partying and drinking all the time and having a great time. And he was 19 years old, and he was frustrated. He actually had a gun. He had an automatic rifle over his shoulder, and he was frustrated because he hadn't seen much action in the Grenadines. And he said, I'm hoping to get posted to Beirut next.
Yeah, if I recollect right,
what a difference.
If I recollect, weren't we in Grenada? And then I think we sailed, and I think, didn't they invade about the day later? No, the revolution was the day later when Bishop took over.
Yeah.
We were in
And then we
Palm
didn't
Island,
call
Jim.
there for a couple of weeks, did we?
Jim, we were in Palm
John,
Island.
Yeah, Palm Island. Yeah, and
John, in the
John.
middle of Palm Island.
That's right. But what I'm saying, Steve, is
piled off.
Yeah, but I think we're in Grenada the day before Bishop took over. I think we sailed, and the following day there was the revolution.
Right.
Yeah, there was trouble.
About a week later, didn't they?
Yeah, there was trouble in Grenada. Going ashore, we were harassed and things like this. Yeah. And the John, I can't remember his last name now, but John, the guy that owned Palm Island, I remember chatting with him. He actually was a guide for the CIA. He showed them where the beaches were and where they could land in Grenada, because he sailed. He found Palm Island by sailing around the Caribbean. He knew the whole area really well, and they enlisted him as a guide to plan their invasion.
Wasn't his name John Corder or something?
I can't think of his last name.
Corder, I think, wasn't it? John Corder.
Yeah, it was John something. Yeah,
I think it was Corder.
There he is.
Taffy?
Yeah.
The traveller.
They were just asking.
Hello, Taffy.
Where are you?
Well, before I tell you where you are, I want to tell you I'm very disappointed. I've been packing this van up for the last 3 weeks. And what have I forgot?
Your toothbrush.
Crew bar on tour hat. And I was going to take
Alan.
I was going to take pictures of it all over the place. I'm in Biarritz, just north of Biarritz.
Oh, lovely.
Good. Well done, Taffy.
I've had a lovely couple of days, but I'm on the move tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm heading south through the mountains down to southern Spain somewhere. Somewhere I'll end up.
Lovely.
Very nice. Who's that? Oh, that's Johnny.
Love France so much.
There's a series of hotels in. I know you don't need a hotel, but there's a series of hotels in Spain that I stayed with John Quillen when we did a trip down through Spain, sort of following a similar route to you. We went through Andorra and then down into Spain, and they're called Paramore or something like this. We stayed in a monastery. Parador, yeah.
Parador.
We stayed in a monastery one night, and when we drove up into this like Transylvanian village, and it was pouring with rain, and it was cobbled streets. Eventually got to this hotel. It was dark, and a guy with an umbrella came out and helped us into the hotel. And the guy behind the counter, first of all, told us that he had no rooms. And then we were talking with him, and finally he said, I do have a room for you. I have rooms for you. And so we ended up staying there. But later he came over to us at dinner and said that when we first arrived, he thought we were American. And that's why he told us there was no rooms available.
Oh, wow.
But when we found out we were British, he was okay with us staying there. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, Paradors are great.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah.
Well,
Was somebody asking about Myers rum a couple of times back? That
Yeah, me.
Ray's a rum fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found some in one of the shops down here, one of the supermarkets, Myers rum. Somebody was saying they can't get it anywhere.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't buy it in Canada.
Okay.
The only place I've seen it was in a duty-free shop. I actually don't know where it was now, but I was flying to the UK and there was a duty-free shop and they had a bottle there. I think it was in the US somewhere.
Yeah, I was in one of the local supermarkets the other day that I haven't been in for years and saw a couple of bottles. I thought, oh, look at that. It's still around.
Yeah.
We had it on the ship
I
last
drink
week, Mike Layers.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we got Myers on the ship.
Stick a bottle in the
Do they
post,
sell it
Charlie,
in-
and send it out to Ray.
Yeah. Do they sell it in the UK?
I
Do
think
they sell
so.
Myers
Yeah.
in the UK?
I think you can get it
Yeah,
over
I
here.
think so.
Get it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know who sells it.
That's a good one, Mount Gay rum.
Mount Gay.
Yeah, I used to drink as a substitute. I used to drink Mount Gay,
They
but
sell
now I
Mount
drink
Gay
a rum
here.
called Old Sam. It's really good.
I got a question for Steve. Steve, so how was your cruise, Steve? Being on a new line for the first time.
Well, it wasn't a new line. I've been with them before, John. It's,
Okay.
do you remember Thompson's
Old
Holiday?
Monk.
Yeah.
We don't have that here either.
No, it's in Goa. That's what I drink when I'm in Goa.
Right.
Okay.
We're all getting cross-wired here, John. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Can't you
Ray.
say Thompson Holidays?
You can get it on Amazon, Ray.
Yeah.
Myers.
There you go. Look, Amazon.
Amazon.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray's gone.
Drink supermarket.
No, I'm here. I'm still here.
£21.
The whiskey
I wonder if
exchange.
I wonder if that Old Monk is a friend of Old Sam.
There's loads
There
of
it
places.
is, that's what it is. See, it's dark too. Good.
Do they have an alcohol-free one?
No, but they should.
Alcohol free.
Oh, that relay the one we used to have on the ship. Alcohol-free rum.
Blue label.
Yeah. No, that was the cocktails.
Yeah, that was the essence. Rum essence.
Blue label with Crew in it.
Just went to the rum bars, did they, John?
John, how many lobsters did you eat on your cruise? Because I'm pretty sure you sent two pictures through of
I
steak and
know,
lobster.
I got. Well, we all do it. It's kind of stupid. You take
Oh, the other laugh, Liv,
there was a lot of lobster, and it was nice. It was nice. Yeah. Good.
Were they lobster or crayfish tails?
Yeah. It was,
That
it was
what they are?
lobster. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, beef Wellington, steak and lobster. Like I don't know what the other thing was on there. It's getting a bit much, John.
I gotta stop doing it. Yeah.
You're like one of these people when there's a free bar, they want every drink under the sun, right?
Yeah, no.
On your
Sounds as if the
gravestone-
menus have changed much.
Yeah.
On your
I wanna hear
gravestone,
about-
John, they say he ate well, too well.
I want to hear about Steve's cruise. How was it?
It was very good, John. Thank you very much. We enjoyed it.
Did you have lobster, Steve?
Yes, I had lobster and I had beef Wellington and fillet steak, Chateaubriand.
And all the crew got was crabs.
Yeah, all the crew got the crab.
It's a pity. It's a pity Peter's dropped off. But I was working on the Fair Princess when Peter was the purser, and the air conditioning broke down when we were doing Hawaii to Papeete, and it was absolutely horrendous. And it went on for about 6 weeks. We had no air conditioning whatsoever. And after the first week or two, you know, it was 12-day cruise, something like that. But but we decided to have a free bar, that maybe that would placate the passengers, but actually it was a disaster because they all got drunk, and then they were far more belligerent when they were drunk than when they were sober, right?
I was going to say,
So
that's the
it was
worst
really
thing.
a nightmare. Yeah, terrible.
Should have gone to sea a few
don't
years
do that.
earlier. We had nothing but heating.
Yeah.
We used to have the
Terrible,
radiators
terrible.
on in our cabin.
My wife figured out a way to stay cool in our cabin. She poured water over the mattress and then directed a fan. It was like sleeping on a wet sponge. But you did stay
Sounds
cool.
terrible.
It was that bad. It was terrible. Awful. People were sleeping in the lounges, on the open decks, anywhere to try to stay cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to open the portholes and put a tray out to catch the wind.
The breeze.
Wind shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring the wind in the cabin.
Some of
We
the
used to
old
have
ships
those.
used to
We used to have
them,
those on
didn't
the Canberra, in
Yeah.
the confectioner's shop, and you put a chute out, and it's all very well until the wave comes up, and it comes through the porthole, and whatever you're working on, you've got to dump because it gets covered in seawater, including the Hobart machines.
That's right. Yeah. We used to
I remember-
cool the beers down as well by putting them out on the end of a bit of rope.
Talking about portholes, I was on the Oriana. I joined that as a bellboy after my first trip on the Spirit of London. It worked out, we had to go up. Anyway, and I went into, I'll never forget this cabin number, EC75. And I went into the cabin, I can't remember who it was, the two of us joined. And it was a 3-berth cabin, and the bellboy was a guy called Derek Brough. Do you remember him, John?
Eric Brough.
Derek.
Yeah,
Brough.
I knew. He was my outside man at one stage.
But anyway, about 2 o'clock in the morning, the door gets kicked in, and there's this decky there, and he's got a belt round his fist. With all, I never forget, I had all these silver studs on the thing, and he says to, "Where's my boyfriend?" This sort of bleary-eyed, what did he say? So where's my boyfriend? And I said, well, no, and I can't. He did have a name, but he said, well, he's not here. So he said, he's hiding in the locker. I said, no, he's not in the locker. So he opened the locker. When he opened the locker, there's all these dresses. So he picked all these dresses up and he threw them out through the porthole into Southampton water. And we thought, what's going to happen now? Anyway, he left. We patched up the cabin door. We went back to sleep. And then about 5 o'clock in the morning, in walked the boyfriend, screaming the flipping place down because all the dresses, we told him, well, he threw all your dresses into the water. Some of them could still be seen floating around. It was amazing. First night on the Oriana.
What year was that?
I'm in for a good time here then, aren't I? Yeah.
I was there in 73.
Yeah, he was this.
Yeah, so was I.
Because they had a European
You
deck
weren't
crew.
the bellboy, were you, John?
I'll never forget.
He was in the deck
Derek
department
Brough.
at the time.
Derek Brough was his name.
Yeah.
And
He was a nice lad, actually.
We didn't see him the whole cruise because he shacked up with his boyfriend, the decky. We had the cabin to ourselves, just the two of us. It was great. Huge cabin.
Oh.
I suppose a lot of you remember Jam Emerson.
Yeah.
Well, I first met him on the Oronzi when he was a bedroom steward. But if you remember, he always carried this little electric organ thing with him. And it was coming near Christmas, and we decided to do a camper mine, but there was no dragging up or anything like that. We were just, Jan and me, in the pig this was, and we'd written out the script, but part of it was we were supposed to read it wrong and all this sort of thing. Such it was called Dick Whittington, and where the name, we'd had various songs in it that we was going to sing, but where the word love came into it, we changed it to Dick, such as Portrait of My Love became Portrait of My Dick. And it gets to a part where anybody who sees her soon forget that she's a greaser. Of course, we got cheers over that one because there was all European greasers on there at the time.
Yeah.
There used to be some fun and games on the Oriana with the European deck crew. There used to be. Oh, eruptions going on. Couldn't get over
I
it.
think, yeah, for the first 3 weeks on the Aronsay, there's about 42 signed on from Ireland, all deckies. And there was no work done whatsoever for the first 3 weeks of the voyage. They were just drinking day and
Derek,
night.
was that the trip where they found the guns between San Francisco and Hawaii for the IRA?
It could well be, yeah.
That was a
It
long
was
say, wasn't it?
horrendous.
And we had all the American service people on when we got to Honolulu, arresting about half a dozen of them for gun running. All IRA men.
Yeah.
Oh, what the deck crew were IRA men?
A lot of them were, yeah.
Load of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a similar
It
thing.
was a good time to sleep in a passenger cabin.
Similar thing happened to me on the QE2. You had 3 crew bars on the QE2, and one of them was just the Irish bar, you know what I mean? But you could go in and have a drink, and I was only 20, 21. And I overheard this guy talking to this guy about guns which were on board and they would be taken off in Southampton. Yeah.
Really?
I overheard this conversation and I've left and he's followed me out, cornered me, put me against the bulkhead. He said, "You didn't hear anything then, did you?" I said, "What?" "You didn't hear anything then, did you?" He said, "If you open your mouth," he said, "you're over the side. There's no effing around." He said, "If you said a word, you're over the side. You're gone. Nobody will see you again." I promptly took the shot and run. Fucking, that was a hell of a time. Well, what do you do? What do you do? You know what I mean? They were running guns from New York to Southampton.
One of the expressions from years ago was you didn't sign on a ship, you weighed in.
You weighed in,
yeah.
Yeah.
Certain ships had that reputation.
Yeah.
Certain ships. What was one? Was the Southern Cross, apparently. That was one.
Oh, yeah. Southern Cross. That was Shaw
Yeah.
Savile, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shaw
And
Savile.
the Ocean Monarch.
Ocean Maniac was the nickname.
Ocean Maniac, yeah.
Northern Star. Yeah.
New Australia.
Northern Star was good.
All
but
the
I was
Shaw
on the
Savile
Northern
boats were
Star.
rough.
They got rid of all the riffraff on the Northern Star. They brought stewardesses on, no waitresses in the restaurants, and it completely changed the atmosphere altogether. It went into a completely. It was a really good ship to work on when they got rid of all the the rough asses, like, you know what I mean. It was really good ship.
Who's
There we
got the
go, guys.
football on?
We're back on telly
Got
again.
football on.
Yeah.
Gone off now.
They used to get a lot of trouble on the oh fucking hell, what's he called? Name's gone now. Still got had the Black Watch and the Balmoral and all that lot.
Fred Olsen,
Black
wasn't it?
Watch was
Fred Olsen.
Yeah, you used to
Fred
have
Olsen,
some awful trouble on their ships. Yeah.
There's a Fred Olsen ship in Dover, isn't there, Brendan?
Yeah, there is, yeah. At the moment, yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, it's double funnels.
That's right.
Had some trouble in Dover today, haven't you, Brendan?
Yeah, there's a guy threw a couple of petrol bombs at the immigration centre.
Nice. Yeah.
Where they bring them in on the boat, they sort of initially process them and then they farm them out all over the country. Nearly 1,000 came in today, or was it yesterday? And this guy threw a couple of petrol bombs at the entrance to the processing centre. And it's really just literally filling in the paperwork, a few photographs, fingerprints, and then they move them on. They don't stay very long.
They move it to Manston, I think, don't they?
Manston, they got a lot there, yeah. But they don't stay long at Manston.
Well, they got about 3 times the amount they should have.
Yeah, he then drove around to the local petrol station and then topped himself.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I've
see the Colonel's got the stop. Colonel's got the traffic lights up.
Colonel's got traffic lights
So
up.
thanks everybody for joining today. I'm sorry I did such a terrible job.
Ray, you did great. You did great.
You're all right,
You did good, Ray.
We won't talk about you now. We'll wait till you're not on here.
Today.
Hearing that Gizzy hasn't been in for a few weeks, I don't feel so bad now because the last 3 weeks I perfectly intended to be on the call and I missed it every time for various reasons.
Just think that when you come on, you drew Peter Pratt in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, Peter was here first.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Have you got a question for me, Ray?
I do. Do I?
Why have you got a red light? Why have you got a red bulb above your head?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Is there an Oscar tale this week?
Yes, there is, and we all get Christmas cards from Oscar, which is absolutely incredible, and a handwritten letter. And so this week's Oscar tale is all about how his Christmas works. And I tell you what, I read the script. I know I joke about Oscar tales because they sometimes they go on a bit, but this is interesting. The amount of work he does at Christmas time. He starts like in bloody October. It's like, so you'll see that at the end, and that's great. Yeah. All right, so we'll see you all next week.
Probably because
guys.
he spends so much time in Mexico, because I always thought they celebrated Christmas way more than we did.
Yeah.
I thought we celebrated Christmas a lot in the UK until I went to Mexico.
Well, India or Goa's the same because it's Roman Catholic.
Is it so?
Yeah.
By the way, Taffy, the red
week,
ball.
guys. Yeah.
By the way,
cheers,
John,
Right.
David note for his absence today.
What's that?
No idea. I'm waiting to find out.
Expectation of relief. So we struggle and we stagger down the snakes and up the ladder to the tower where the blouses off and the men they dance on the polka dots and his partner found and his partner lost and it's hell to pay when the fiddler stops. It's closing time. Yeah, women tear their blouses off and the men they dance on the polka dots.
Hello, everyone. This is Oscar from Ollie's Pocket with Oscar Tales. Oscar Tales. Early Christmas once again. Every year, there it is. All the Christmas things in the shops gradually appearing in the first week of October. And by the third week, a whole avalanche of Christmas items have landed in the stores. It is not much better on the telly with ads for Christmas, especially on programs aimed at children. I mean, who buys this stuff nearly 3 months before the event? Well, me actually, but let me explain. I send out nearly 140 Christmas cards a year. So it is in October I start to write them. So I've been out and bought Christmas cards last week. Not from normal shops, but from charity shops. Now, because I've had skin cancer, and now cured, thank goodness, by the NHS at the Royal Victoria Infirmary at Newcastle upon Tyne, I bought some from the Cancer Research Charity Shop, some from the Save the Children charity bookshop, and some from our own Carlisle Cathedral shop, right beside where I work at the guides desk. So I have a system for this Christmas preparation business. 5 evenings a week, after I've done all the evening meal prep at 6 p.m, I sit down to do 1.5 hours Christmas card writing. And instead of dinner at 8, as normal, I have dinner at 8:30. I put on the radio channel for classical FM, and with the music on low in the background, I sit at my writing desk with my address book and start at A. A in my book is Allstop. No, not the well-known beer, but David, the cabin steward, who many of you know. I have a simple aid to this exercise in writing. It is lubricated with a glass of red wine, sometimes two, and as it slips down and I write, some of my little comments on my cards become quite lyrical. Before you know where you are, it's time to turn on the gas and cook dinner. So during the rest of October, until all are done, I carry on my little routine. Overseas cards I post on the third week in November, and the domestic ones in December. As many as possible I hand deliver. Christmas preparation does not end there. No Christmas shop visits. Next comes Christmas pudding. I have a little list of friends and family to make puddings for about 16 years, most years. So first week in November, I'm at the Tesco shop for bags of mixed dry fruit. Each bag has a mixture of currants, sultana, known as golden raisins in America, black raisins and candied peel, then bags of self-raising flour, store, margarine, nutmeg and cinnamon, brown sugar, eggs, lemon and milk. I mix my puddings in batches of 4 and steam 4 at a time on 4 gas rings. Yes, I do have 4 steamers, believe it or not. The second 2 weeks of November, I make 6 celebration boiled fruit cakes. 5 are Christmas cakes and 1 a birthday cake for a family member who is unlucky enough to have a birthday near Christmas. So it's back to the shops for more flour, mixed fruits, bags, etc. And at this time, marzipan and icing sugar. All these puddings and cakes need a good soaking of Oscar's special liquid mix as a preservative and to give it extra flavour. What is it, I hear you ask? Well, it is a mixture of brandy, rum, sherry and port. I make up a batch every November in a special bottle. Yes, you could drink it, but I don't advise it. With what? Coke? Of course, once all that is done, it is time for Christmas present buying and wrapping of the same. I usually take 2 days and very fast. And I have a list of the sort of things each person might like. I often buy books as it's a nice present to give. So after the first week in December, most of the Christmas preparation is done. Some years I go to stay with friends in Mexico at Christmas. And I make 2 more Christmas puddings, 2 more Christmas cakes. However, I'm not going this year. So as I said at the start of this discourse, who buys Christmas things at this time of year? Well, actually, I do. So now I will end this week's little Oscar tale and I will go into the kitchen for a cup of tea and a mince pie. So there. Well, that's all, folks, for this week from Oscar. Oh, and always remember,